Somebody recently asked me what I miss the most about producing dramatic makeup content. And I thought that was a really good question because I've been doing this job for about 13 years. I had sort of the same reason for creating content from the very beginning, and that was to be a voice of reason, honesty, truth, and trust in the beauty community. I loved the dramatic transformation. That's how I started my YouTube channel. I always just wanted to be somebody. There really wasn't a ton of people on beauty YouTube at that time because I couldn't afford MAC back then, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't afford to go buy MAC makeup. And every single channel that I was watching back then was like, go get the MAC copper nude blah blah, and I was like, I can't afford MAC, are you kidding me? So I started my YouTube channel to be like, here's how you can do this, all the same makeup looks with the Coastal Scents 252 palette. Started making YouTube videos, and I never expected that, number one, there would be a day where I wasn't doing as much beauty content or really any at all, but that it would even get to this level and then shift. I did not know that being a mother would so fundamentally change a lot of my, not just values isn't even the right word, things I care about and love. I think the question is interesting of what do I miss the most about making dramatic makeup content? And the answer is like 20-fold because, as you know, in that honesty spectrum, if you have followed for any amount of time, because I always wanted to be somebody that was honest and forthcoming, and I felt like there was a little bit of a lacking of that in the space of makeup. Not self-branded myself, but sort of in a way of being somewhat dramatic, because when you are brutally honest, that sometimes that can come off as a little dramatic because you might not like a product that everybody else loves and you feel like everybody else is lying. And I kind of felt like that for a while. And then of course you all remember the Jaclyn Hill lipstick thing, and that was a whole thing. And that was kind of when my channel sort of took off, so to speak. Interrupting today's video to thank today's sponsor, which is Rocket Money. I've worked with Rocket Money in the past and I've been a member of theirs for a year and a half now. I'm a member for life. I found out that I was being charged every month double for a couple of different subscriptions actually, and that's where Rocket Money came in so handy for myself personally. They are a personal finance app that allows you to manage subscriptions, lower bills, make a custom budget, and grow your savings all in one place. I love how with Rocket Money you can cancel your subscriptions through the app. It automatically makes a list of all of your subscriptions so you can keep track of them all in one place, which is so handy for myself personally because I'm a jumbled mess. So you can cancel the ones that you don't want anymore with just a few taps. It makes it so easy. With Rocket Money you can also make a customized budget in just a few seconds. The app will show you where all your money is going at all the times, and it's so easy to navigate through the app. I don't find it difficult or confusing at all. It identifies different spending categories for you, so it'll put things into categories of how you're spending your money with insights on how you can stay within your budget better. And one of my favorite parts of it is that Rocket Money will notify you about upcoming charges or when your balance is low to help you avoid overdraft and late fees. Not only can you save money via canceled subscriptions if you're paying for something twice you didn't even realize like us, but Rocket Money has also helped save its members up to $740 a year when you use all of the app's premium features. And they've also helped save members over $500 million with canceled subscriptions. I'm one of those members. To try Rocket Money out today and unlock more features with premium, you guys can scan the QR code on the screen or click the link down in the description to get started for free. Thank you again so much to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video and for being so helpful for me with budgeting. Having that cancel subscription option, life-changing. Had to flip my hat around so you guys don't see what's on the other side. As time progressed, like, you know, back in 2019, 2020, it was all I did. Like, I don't think people realize how much time I spent working. The time you see me gardening now, oh, there's a mourning dove in my pond. I was a super duper duper workaholic back then. Like, it may not have come off as much as it was happening, but any spare time that I had, I was filming, editing, uploading, doing new makeup looks. I was not trying to go viral, but like just constantly like paying attention to the trends, buying the new makeup palettes, getting things sent, constantly like just had my finger on the pulse of what was popular, what people cared about, what they wanted to see, and what they wanted me to talk about. And I was always, you know, perusing and making sure to find out what the new trends were going to be and this and that and the other thing. And so that was sort of my whole life. All I had time for was to do makeup. Like I didn't have anything else going on. All I would do is I'd wake up, I would take a shower, and I would go put my makeup on. I would film a video, and then I would film a second video, and I'd film a third video, and sometimes I would do 3 or 4 videos in one day. I was gearing towards burnout. I didn't even realize it as much. Actually, I was talking to my friend the other day and I was like wondering, you know how there's that whole trend going around right now, and it was talking about like the butterfly effect trend. I don't know if you guys have seen it on Instagram, but it's like the butterfly effect is crazy because what if I never, and then like what if I never met my current husband, and then like my son wouldn't exist, or you know, all those different things I've talked. It was me talking to her about that. Like I was like, what if I never had a kid? Like what would my career look like now? All these different things. And I was like, I wonder what things would look like if I had a different life circumstance, like had things not gone the way that they did. And she made a really good comment to me, and I didn't really realize it because it's not really something I talked about on YouTube at all. And she was like, well, you were really gearing towards burnout before 2020. And I was like, really? Was I? I don't really remember it like that. I just remember like kind of being at the top of my game and things were going really well. And she was like, oh no, you were so burnt out, remember? She's like, you were like listening to a ton of motivational speakers, and you had started having panic attacks, and you were wondering what the meaning of life was, and you were feeling like maybe I should have kids in the future, and you started seeing a therapist and talking about how burnt out you were. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot all of that. And that is lack of change. That is lack of growth. And a lot of times for me and myself, if I'm not growing, I feel like I'm not doing well. This is your one earth experience, and you need to just like live it. And that's the thing, is I don't live my life with conviction. I live it through fear. And so if I start living like I want to, but I'm too afraid to, then maybe I think I'll push myself out of this bubble that I've been stuck in. And I think that therapy is really going to help me through like the fear of having kids, because a lot of my fears stem from like, well, what happens? What if the kid gets sick? What if something happens to it? What if it has a problem and it's my fault? What if it's, I do all of that stuff? What if we buy this house, but then the kid wants to play in the backyard and there is no backyard because we bought a house on the top of a mountain? No, she's absolutely right. Because I bought this house because I wanted to go off grid. We didn't go off grid. We're not off grid. But we wanted to go off grid. We wanted to grow our own plants. We wanted to, do all this kind of stuff. I wanted to do that stuff because I was feeling uneasy and lack of peace in my life, because all I was doing was working 24/7 on videos and more and more and more and more and bigger and bigger and bigger and more collabs and this collab and that. And you don't even know the amount of collabs that fell through, that I had to turn down, that just didn't work out because I was pregnant and the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. Being a mom forced me to slow down. And in that slowing down, I realized how much I loved slowing down. What do I miss about making dramatic content? The only thing I miss is the success of it all, but that's quite literally it. I do not miss the stress of people coming at me, feeling bad about, brands seeing me talk shit about their makeup. I do miss some of it. I look back on those as really fond times because it was really fun. There was a community aspect. The reason the beauty community had such a cool feel to it is because it was a community, and because we were the group of people that picked up our cameras and made content, it was like a small amount of people. Whereas now, everybody is a content creator. Anybody with a smartphone, which is everybody, can be a content creator. And it doesn't take as much effort as it used to, because actually short form content is king, and short form content is much easier to produce than a long form YouTube video. And so I think that's kind of how it's sort of morphed and shifted in a way that I couldn't have predicted. Nobody really predicted it. I mean, some people did. I really didn't think TikTok was going to take off the way it did, or that short form content would become such a big thing, because YouTube was interestingly the exact opposite for quite a few years. At first, when people started YouTube, videos 5 minutes or less. We don't want to hear you waffle on. And then it got to the point where it was like, if your video is not an hour, people are going to complain. They want a miniature feature length film. It's gone back to short form content. It'll probably go back to long form. Who literally knows? And like the ebbs and flows of the internet are just something that you don't know. You just don't know how it's going to go. I still love YouTube. I don't necessarily watch as many YouTube videos as I used to. YouTube used to be the thing that I would sit and do forever, and I feel like that's the case for everyone. And I can just see that reflected through and through. I look back on that time really fondly as something that happened and passed. Like, I don't wish to go back to high school, but I look back on my high school experience fondly. I don't want to be in the face awards again, but I look back at that time so fondly. And so the same goes for the years of makeup content. Am I ready for it to be over? No, I don't know that I was ready, but it just is. So I have to accept it, because I refuse to put in the workaholic hours that I used to put in, because I want to spend those same amount of hours with my son and my husband and gardening and growing food, and all the things that I said I wanted to do back in 2019 are the life that I live now. And it is as good as I thought it was going to be. It really is. It is better. It is better than I thought it was going to be. I did not expect to feel this fulfilled and this happy and this blissful. I thank God every day for this blessing of this life. I cannot begin to describe how I absolutely do not take this life for granted whatsoever. I cannot believe that this is my life. I cannot believe I get to live here. I don't feel like I deserve it because it's so the life of my dreams. And I thank you guys so much for making it a reality for me, for watching my videos all these years. And, yes, things have changed so much. I'm, through and through, really nobody's making content. Like I remember, what is that? An absolute freak of nature hornet? Barely anyone does YouTube anymore. They've all kind of switched to different avenues. And so you see other people and you just, you have to kind of figure out your own niche or your own area where you fit in. And I should have switched to short form content. Probably I still should. It's probably too late. I don't know, maybe not. But I just love YouTube. I just feel like, I don't know. I just have this really special, fond place in my heart for YouTube. But I love this life so much that I have now. I just thank you so much that you've continued watching to make this my reality. I hope I can do it justice. I feel like we have. I have not taken it for granted for 1 second. And granted, I have gone through a lot. And I know it's hard to watch people go through stuff when you see that they are living a blessed life and you're like, oh my God, shut up. It's like you're screaming at the screen, like, enjoy what you have. I'm in such a better place now. And I'm feeling so hopeful. I do miss certain aspects of my life from before. There is something that you can't really know, like the high of, I hate to say popularity, but I guess that's the right word. It was a really cool feeling to have people care what you have to say and to feel like sought after and all of that. But like I said, I look back on that time really fondly. And I look at the time I'm in really fondly, and I'm so painfully aware that I'm living in the good old days right now. Like, I'm so painfully aware of it. And every day that I look at my son and my husband, I am like, I just know this is the time. This is going to be what I probably remember as some of the happiest days of my life. So what do I miss most about producing dramatic makeup content? I guess the popularity. The least, what do I miss the least? The pressure. It was a lot of pressure. And I realize I do much better with a pressureless life. I'm going to hopefully find that perfect balance. I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it, but, one day at a time. I'm only human. So, but I'm very happy with where I'm at right now. And I just hope that I am able to... Aw, cute. Look what just landed in my hand as I was filming. Oh! Can you guys see it? Look what landed in my hand. A little dandelion seed. I want to drive it home. I don't think a video can quite do it justice. That's why sometimes I wish, I've talked about like podcasting in the past and wanting to do a podcast, and I still stand by that. I think I could do one every day. I would enjoy to have people to talk to. That's why I like to talk to other people, because I feel like my actual genuine self could come out. And I know sometimes if sitting in front of a camera feels all that genuine, because I am just talking to a camera. And when you're having a conversation with somebody, there's like a back and forth, and there is no back and forth here. I wish I could talk to you guys and have you sitting here and be able to like go back and forth with, but I wanted to let you know, and I know it can come off as disingenuous sometimes, but I just don't think people quite understand how much I appreciate you and how much I do not take for granted and how much I appreciate the life that I've been able to live because you've continued to watch my YouTube channel. That's the only reason that any of this even exists for me, is because you've consistently come here time and time again. You guys continue to come here and care about what I have to say and be awesome, supportive community, and I couldn't have any of this or live this life or experience these joys or be home with my son or get to experience his life in the fullness that I desire if I didn't have this job, and I couldn't have this job unless you were here watching. So I need you to understand that I appreciate it so much. Every day that I've lived in this house, every day that we further this property and take it to the next level and add plants and add dahlia beds and add things and grow things and change things, every single time I do something, I look at this place and I'm like, this is actually what I imagine heaven to be like. This is my heaven on earth. And this is not a brag or even a humble brag or anything like that. This is a thank you to you, because it doesn't exist without you. It doesn't, you know? Yes, I make the videos, but if you didn't watch them, that wouldn't mean anything. So yeah, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Like, more than I could ever say. It's just like, I cannot even begin to describe it. It's like, it doesn't compute. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, for hanging out with me, and for asking me questions and giving me topics when I ask on Instagram, because you give me things to talk about and I love it. It's just like a podcast, but I wish I had a damn co-host or something. Like, that would be so nice to have, to be able to riff back and forth with somebody. Like, gosh, that'd be nice. Maybe one day. Who would I even do it with? My husband? I don't know. Maybe. We have good conversations. Okay, well, I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you at my next video. Bye! Mimi says bye-bye. Mimi says bye-bye, doesn't she? Look at her chest and how golden. She's a golden lion. Yes, she is. That's a sun-bleached baby girl. She's a sun patch back. She's sun-bleached and warm. She smells good. Oh, she smells so good. You know the smell of a sun-baked kitten? So good. Yeah, she's a sun-baked woman. You want to hear? You do. Say goodbye, Mimi.